Chris, Ashley, and Emily reviewing movies that aren't that bad. Yeah!
All right. What a lovely theme song. Welcome to It's Not That Bad, where we review movies and, we find out if they're not that bad. This week, we're going to be reviewing the classic High School Musical.
Woo. Yeah.
So let's get a round call here. Who's in the booth right now? Let's start with me because I'm talking right now. But this is Christopher on the ones and twos.
I'm Hattie. Hi, everybody.
Emily, what up?
Ashley here.
All right, now let's get a synopsis of High School Musical. Who wants to do this?
I will take the reins. Okay, High School Musical. If you have not seen it, which I highly recommend you do, it's an important part of the film canon. It's about there's a boy, he's a basketball player, and there's a girl, and she's a smart girl, and they both can sing, and they want to audition for the school musical. But their friends don't want them to because it goes against the status quo. Mm-hmm. And there's also a duo that's got every role in the school's productions for a while, and they're trying to sabotage them. And in the end, everyone figures out you can do multiple things at once and be a better person because of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So let's gauge the room. How'd y'all feel about this movie?
I love this movie. I love it. I really do.
You love it.
I love it.
So explain.
Okay, well, I mean, maybe it's nostalgia, but it's a good movie. Like, after we watched it just before coming here, and it's like a pretty solid movie. I will say, though, the opening, the first image you see is a very, very obviously, like, not actually recorded image of a ski lodge, and it looks so fake.
Yeah.
It looks so fake. It's insane. And then we go inside the ski lodge to see an even faker setup of what a lobby of a ski lodge looks like. And it's, great production design. Yeah. That was sarcasm.
I will say it's not that bad. Yeah. I went into it with very low expectations because I hadn't watched it since I was a kid, and movies like that don't normally hold up. But there were some moments that really were very good in the movie, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Yep. I think as a kid I've seen parts of this movie, but not the entire thing all at once. So as I watched it, I was like, wow, they're all so young and cute. But my overall feeling, not that bad.
Yeah, talk about a trip down memory lane. Am I right? Yeah, it wasn't, it's not a good movie, but it's not a bad movie. So
Exactly.
there's some gray in there.
Yeah.
But let's start with this opening that Emily talked about. I did notice the very fake looking ski lodge. Mm-hmm. You guys also noticed that the fact that Zac Efron, I forgot his Troy and Vanessa and Gabriella that they were put on stage to sing.
Yeah.
They were like, I don't want to sing. And then they just stood there. Like, I'm no expert, but if you don't want to do something on stage, just walk off the stage.
That you're right. You're right.
Yeah, one thing I noticed in that scene is that at the beginning of the song, they're really looking at the words and the cues a lot. Mm-hmm. And then about halfway through, they're not even looking at that. They know all the words by heart. And this is a song that they previously did not know. Yeah. So either they're really good at memorizing choruses and also verses in the future.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This is the thing I don't get, because I feel like this only happens in movies where people go up for karaoke for a song they've never heard, and they know the tune.
Yeah, they know the melody and they know harmonies for it. Oh, please.
Yeah, because when you're doing karaoke, you're only given the words, and there are songs that will change the beat up on you very quickly. It is.
You ever heard Beyonce Love on Top? That's got like 4 key changes in it.
Oh my God.
Couldn't do that? No way.
So I'm like, how do you know because it could be any tune.
Yeah.
You've got the background music, but how do you know how the words are supposed to sound?
Even if we leave, this is a musical, so movie magic. Let's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
let that aside. Even if we leave that, they really didn't want to sing.
Right.
They get up on there. There's a moment where Zac Efron takes off his
coat.
jacket,
Blazer.
his
Oh,
coat,
yeah.
Everyone
and he's not
screams.
shirtless or anything. He's wearing a gross long sleeve shirt. And everyone goes crazy. The room goes nuts. They were not even looking really at them until that moment, and the room
Yeah.
just blows the top off. It's crazy.
Speaking of that, let me get your opinion here, guys. If you were at a party and people have been doing karaoke all night, and there's two people up there that actually turn out to be good, would you guys start going hard to the karaoke, especially if they started looking at each other and getting all close to each other?
Oh, I definitely
while they were
would.
singing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely would.
If two people were pulled up, they're like, I don't really want to sing, and then they were very not into it, but then
Something changed.
something changes, and then they are singing Broadway, style.
And one of them takes off their coat.
Oh, see, that's the thing. I will say that with if you're bored, because it's like kids party at a ski lodge, that nobody
Young
there
adults,
knows.
Young
It's
adults,
in a young
as
adults
the mother
party.
says.
Young adults party at a ski lodge. No one there knows each other. You're wandering around attempting to make conversation. Suddenly, these two people get up on stage, forced up on stage. They start really getting into it. One of them whips off his jacket, getting really into it. I would be like, yes, most exciting thing that's happened all night.
And something I will say about this party is that everyone is wearing an insane hat. An insane hat. What is this? Where are they? Everyone.
Yeah.
There's a guy with a huge cowboy hat. He
Oh
tips
my
his hat
God.
at Vanessa when she walks in.
Yeah.
There's a guy with the crazy purple hat.
My favorite.
And they're so oversized. It's so crazy.
It's just funny how Zac Efron or Troy was like, "No, please, I can't sing." And then
No, you're right.
when they showed the teleprompter, there was a part where he was walking off. He's like, "You know what? I gave my note. I'm off. I'm out of here." And then Gabrielle starts singing, and then he's like, "Wait, what? She can sing?" And then they show the teleprompter. There's no ad libs, and then he just goes, "Whoa!" And I'm like, "Yeah, okay. Only people who sing do that.
Yeah.
No one who can't sing just goes, whoa."
One thing also, I didn't realize until watching this movie now, this movie almost directly parallels Grease, but without all the sex.
What?
Think
Oh
about
my
it.
God, you're
It
right.
parallels Grease
Oh my-
almost exactly.
They meet on vacation. They get together on vacation. They go back to school. One of them is kind of like, whoa, should I approach? Because they're here now for unexplained reasons. They then get together. All their friends are against it.
The
One
only
of them
thing
makes
that
a fool of
changes is
himself.
that instead of being a greaser, he's a basketball player. That's
Yeah.
it.
And there's no teenage pregnancy.
There's no teenage pregnancy. It's the same.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
I know.
That's actually, I did not catch that. That's shocking. But she doesn't change. I guess you could say at the end, because she comes out in that, because Gabriella at the end song, the "We're All in This Together," she comes out in that kind of skimpy red dress.
I think they did switch up the ending because in Grease they both Sandy changes her fundamental being
Yeah.
for the guy, but in this movie they both embrace their likes. So it's better, definitely in that sense, morally.
Yeah.
But same plot basically.
Very interesting note. Mm-hmm. I like it.
Also, one thing you may not know, because Ashley didn't. It's fine. No, I didn't mean to say that in a bad way, but you just didn't know.
What did
Zac Efron does not sing in this movie.
Yes.
He does not.
So wait,
That's not Zac Efron's voice.
that's someone else singing?
That's someone else singing. Zac Efron does sing in the second and the third movie, but he does not sing in the first. It's a guy named Drew.
Oh, really? Because the
was
singing voice sounds
tired.
eerily similar to Zac
know,
Efron's
it's movie magic.
talking voice.
It's
It's actually really well done. I did not know that at all.
yeah,
Neither did I.
yeah.
Surprising. Maybe Drew's just not attractive.
No, he is. I've seen him.
Then why did they hire?
Because Zac Efron has dreamy blue
clearly-
eyes.
Yeah, clearly Zac Efron can sing. He's sung in the other two.
Yeah,
I think maybe
that's true.
they were like,
So-
we got to get him some vocal lessons. He's got, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And also maybe he looked more like he would belong in high school than
Yeah.
Drew did.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, because Zac Efron and
Babyface.
they both really did look like high school.
I think he was like actually 17.
I would believe that.
Okay, so let's talk about our anti-heroes, or excuse me, I guess
Let's say
anti-heroes.
anti-heroes
I
because
was gonna
goddamn
say
it
it.
if they're not justified.
I love them. Sharpay and Ryan Evans are
Mm-hmm.
introduced, and I'm just gonna say it. Like, I love them. Like, when I saw this movie as a kid, I was like, I want to be Sharpay. I do not want to be Vanessa Hudgens.
Yeah.
I do not like her that much.
I mean, the thing is just like their songs are so much more upbeat when they sing. I'm like, oh, I want to dance to
and the
this.
production value.
yeah.
The production value of their songs. They have choreo. They have costuming. They literally like they went all out. She
Yeah.
tap danced. She had a tap dance in her audition. Like,
Yeah,
Very true.
that they love the art.
yeah, they've
like
had
it's so
training.
clear that that's all they like want to do, and they just love it, and they're good at it.
I know. I sympathize with Sharpay a
Oh,
lot.
for sure. I sympathize with Ryan. Ryan is
Oh, man.
poor Ryan.
I know.
Isn't it weird? I mean, this might be jumping around, but isn't Ryan illiterate?
What?
No, why?
Because there was a part where he tried to read a sign and he couldn't read it.
No, I think I remember.
Yeah, like they.
He was trying to read what a sign was saying, and he was missaying what it was.
Yeah, and then Sharpay was just like, "Oh, typical Ryan." I'm like,
Oh,
"Is
you're right.
is
It's
he illiterate?"
Go Drama
Yeah.
Club exclamation point.
And then he was like, "Go
Go
dream,
dra-
go
go dra-
dream," and I was like, "He can't read."
Which is funny because he can read sheet music, which is hard. It's pretty hard to
I
read.
think he can read.
I don't know. He seemed
It's
pretty
very
like.
hard to stay
Yeah.
in the U.S. education system if you're illiterate.
Especially high school.
Yeah.
Okay, so the reasons why Troy and Gabriella do not want to sing and are scared to audition. Troy is scared that he will be like ostracized from his basketball team.
Yes.
And Gabriella is scared because she has a fear of singing in front of people.
Yes.
Yeah.
But and also she doesn't want to be, well, she says this earlier, she doesn't want to be labeled as the freaky genius girl.
Yeah.
So she wants to not sing and do smart stuff.
I think
That makes no sense.
think-
Well, she probably just doesn't want to be the center of attention all the
Yeah.
time.
That's what it
assume.
is. She doesn't want to be like.
Okay, so she's a little shy.
Yeah, she's very
Yeah,
shy.
she's very
So
shy.
why do musical theater? That's
Troy makes
Because
her feel
they
alive.
they love it too. It's
yeah, I
been
guess.
deep inside them. They both said they haven't sang in front of people. She's been doing
Church
choir
choir,
for
yeah.
a while, and Troy's been singing in the shower. But to get to the level they're at, they are singing a lot.
Yeah, no.
Wow.
Like they are like
yeah,
any-
they're harmonizing. They're like hitting.
So-
I mean, obviously.
Yeah, so even though neither of them has formal training, it's obvious that they've put hours into this. So I think this is the first time they're like, they've had this huge interest that for whatever reason they've had to keep down, and now they're like, I can explore this.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go through the plot. So now they're at school.
They live in
1
the same
week
town.
later.
Yeah.
Right.
1 week later, we open on the East High Wildcats.
Get your head in the game.
Get your head in the game.
They've moved to the same town.
Yes.
The
They
drama
all-
club.
They all got detention.
Yeah,
And their
freaking-
detention is building sets. That's cool.
Yeah, okay, hold on. Like, so first of all, Gabrielle is not mad at all that Troy texted her during class, which got her phone confiscated and detention, and like everyone else in the class also got detention because of this. I'd be mad. I'd be like, Troy, you're such a and then, yeah, also, maybe they have a cool school, but I've been in detention before. That is not what happens.
But also the drama teacher, I think she says at one point that their like drama program is like small.
Oh,
but they
yeah.
have like
Well, also,
a
she's the one who gave it to
professional
them.
level stage and
And-
like everything.
Yeah.
yeah.
They've got funding.
Yeah, it is true. I forgot. She's the one who gave them detention, so I
Yeah.
guess she could do whatever they want.
Can I say something about Miss Darbus real
Yes,
quick?
of course.
And I don't know if this bothered anyone else, so let me know, but I don't get why she talked like the way she talked the entirety of the movie. She talked like someone who was born when Shakespeare was born, but she constantly talked that way the entire time. She would always say, "This is the theater."
Yeah. Well, she said musicale.
Yeah,
Which
and I'm like,
that's not how it's pronounced.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, like, why is she talking like that? Like, I get she's a drama teacher and stuff, but I mean,
know.
logically, that would mean like her parents had to have talked like that, or she was born around people who just spoke like that.
No,
I think she just does it to be cool.
Yeah, I definitely think that's a thing she puts on.
Mhm. Yeah, look at all of her scarves. Like, come on.
Yeah. She's building a persona.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, back to the detention. They are building sets, but like, if you closely pay attention, she walks, like, Miss Darvis walks in, there's a girl sewing. She goes, more gold, to the girl who's already in the middle of sewing something, and then walks up to Chad, who's painting something, totally carelessly, just putting paint on there. Like, I was just like, what are these kids doing?
They need structure.
They're building already built sets.
Yeah.
The sets are complete. They're done.
It's so true.
There is, like, literally, you look, they from the first scene in detention to the finale where they use those sets they just built, nothing's changed.
So true.
And the school before, like, the climax, I would say, is, like, heavily stereotyped. Like, at the
Yes.
beginning, what's her name? The smart girl who's head of the, whatever her name is.
I don't know her name.
She, like, talks about the cheerleaders and how, like, you have to learn to speak cheerleader. And I'm like, okay.
Wow, that's
Talking
so
about their nail
weird.
beds and all that jazz. And I'm like, that's so stereotyping cheerleaders.
Yeah.
And also, like, every other, I mean, they have a whole song about it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what is this town?
Yeah.
Why is everyone stereotyped
Well,
so heavily?
And they also, everybody treats if you singing as if it's like the greatest change a person can make is to become a singer.
Well, I think it's musical theater because there is
Well,
a line where Troy's friend says, it's not like hip hop or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's musical theater. And he talks about how his mom likes musical theater. And so I'm thinking, this is the mom's thing. You know, like everybody has their own thing. That's the mom's thing. And so he's like grossed out by it.
Oh boy. Yeah, I want to talk, because like it's a very strange setup. Literally everyone in the movie can only have one thing.
Yes.
But it can't be a unique thing. It has to fit into one of the groups.
Yeah.
Like you
Yes.
can either be a smart kid, but not a decathlon kid. You can be smart with reading books about biology, or you can be in the decathlon group, or you can be a skater kid, or you can be a jock, or you can be a cheerleader, or
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
like, there's no like overlap of the groups. It's so weird because it's like, just imagine for this movie to happen, the culture of that town from birth is giving kids traits and telling them this must be it.
Yes.
Like Troy says, he's like, oh, I hear my dad's friends say, you must be so proud your son's the basketball guy.
Yeah.
Not your son's good at basketball. Your
Yeah.
son makes the team. He's the basketball guy.
He's
Yes.
the one guy.
Yeah.
But what they don't know is that Troy's divergent.
Yeah.
And to think the whole culture of this town didn't change until they accidentally sang for a musical.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Like, that's the one thing that changed the entirety of this town.
Also, I will say one really redeeming thing that I was just like, aw. Troy and his dad's relationship is just like, I love it.
Yeah.
Like, the dad is his coach. He's very, like, into what his son, except for the one moment when he's like, what are you talking about? Get your head in the game. Let's focus. When Troy's trying to say that he likes singing. But at the end, the dad is so supportive. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, I love it.
Well, that's mainly because all of Troy's problems just stem from poor time management. Like, the reason he's having problems is because he's skipping basketball practice to go sing. But later on in the movie, when everyone's okay, he's still doing both. He's just not trying to do them, like, at the same time period. He's, like, making time for each of them.
Yeah.
So if he just did that in the first place, there might not have been a problem.
I will say though, everyone throughout the movie, because there's a big basketball game coming up, it also should be noted that this movie takes place over the course of about 2 weeks.
Yes.
Which is shocking. like, because people get so upset and then it goes away like the next
Oh
day.
my god, that's so true.
But
Couldn't handle it.
throughout this whole time, the reason everyone is so upset with Troy about singing, besides the fact that he is singing in the first place, is that if he focuses on something else besides the basketball game, they will all lose the basketball game. They keep talking to him
Yeah.
as if he's the only player on the
Yeah.
team. It's like they're like, if you don't focus 100% on this game, this team's gonna lose. It's like, all right.
Also, one small note about the basketball team.
Yes.
They are so short.
Yeah.
They're not a real high school basketball team.
Oh my God.
I cannot. I cannot. Zac Efron is like he's like 6 feet or under, right? He's not he's not super
He's not
tall.
tall.
No, yeah,
he's
not
not
tall.
super. Like
No.
I've been to high school basketball games, and like you just know, like if you've been to school,
Yeah,
right? Your
they're-
basketball team is like tall guys normally. This basketball team is obviously compiled of dancers who are playing basketball players because
Yeah.
like they're so short.
Yeah. Yeah. That is like, it was like, just like when you see them playing basketball, like these guys, they probably been playing basketball their whole life, but it just seemed very weird.
Yeah,
Like when they were
yeah.
actually doing drills.
I know. It seemed very different compared to Sharpay and Ryan, who you know definitely have been doing musical theater
Oh,
for
yeah.
a while.
Yeah.
My head's in the game, but my heart's in the song.
Oh my god.
Should
Yeah.
I take it?
Isn't that from the third movie?
No, that's from
Get Your Head in the Game.
Oh, that's a reprise from the third movie. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was a subtle segue into, yeah. What did you guys think of getting their heads in the game?
That
Like-
song?
Yeah,
I
just
think-
because I think that song is pretty. I mean, I wouldn't say it's the most important song in the movie, but I think it's a pretty.
Like a lot of people know it.
I don't know the word I'm looking for. Like in terms of the movie, it's like
Prominent.
yeah, a prominent point in the movie.
Yes. I agree. I think that's definitely the one that's caught on.
Yeah.
It's Get Your Head in the Game and We're All in This
All This
Together.
Together.
That's the one that people know if they talk about High School Musical songs.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
I would say, out of the whole movie, Get Your Head in the Game is the one with the most intense choreography.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely
And-
great choreo.
As you guys know, I love me some good choreography.
I just love the intro. It's all
Yeah.
basketball sounds. Christopher was like, "Wait,
Yeah.
are they singing a song right now?"
After Get Your Head in the Game, it cuts to what, Chris?
Is it Status Quo?
No, after Get Your Head in the Game, I think that's when Troy decides to sneak into the auditions.
Okay. Oh, yes.
Yes.
So Troy and Gabriella are sneaking into auditions. Or is this the... Yeah, no, they're sneaking into auditions. He's really sneaking. There's a point where his dad sees the back of his body.
Oh, yeah.
So for some reason, like, the dad does not know what the back of his son looks like because he just completely is just like, oh, I don't know what that is. So
Yeah, he acts like I'm sorry. He acts like he just saw a monster. Was like, I gotta investigate this.
yeah, it's like, I don't know what the school is. Also, the school has, like, a real car garage. Like, what is it called?
Oh, like a
Like
mechanic thing?
garage?
Yeah.
They have that too. Like, this school is
Oh,
rich.
You're talking about like a shop?
Yeah,
Yeah.
They have an auto shop, and it's also which is
Do most
crazy.
schools have that?
No.
No.
Okay, that's what I thought. I'm
We
like,
have, I mean, there's like wood shop, but
The
not
school-
an auto shop.
The school has to be rich because I don't know off the top of my head the average salary of a like basketball coach.
Oh my
but
God.
his house.
But his
though.
house is a mansion.
That's what I said too.
Wait, before we get off topic, what if they intentionally modeled this after Grease, because they have in Grease, as we know, there is a mechanic shop heavily featured.
Yeah.
And
You're
what if that
right.
was a little Easter
Well,
egg?
it was obviously inspired by Grease. I mean, like, one could say, like, there could be a copyright issue.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no. But so he's sneaking. He's at the back of the auditorium now with a janitor cart for
Oh,
a
yeah.
reason. I don't know.
He
To hide behind.
Yeah.
okay,
Case,
like
because God
correct me if
forbid.
I'm wrong, but like doesn't he go into the back of the theater with the thing and then comes around to the front of the theater with the janitor's like basket or whatever?
No, he stays in the back with Vanessa. Or with Gabriella.
Well, no, but aren't they like near the door, sitting at the back when
Yeah.
Ryan and Sharpay are singing? So they came around to the front of the auditorium. Because I thought he was like backstage, right?
No. He was always at the front.
Oh, okay.
Actually, no, Hattie, you're right. You're right, because he walks in through the curtains. I remember his face is by red curtains.
Well, because like
So
I thought
he walks
was...
around though. I think he just walks around.
Yeah,
to the
which
front.
is like I'm like, why? Just stay back there.
So Vanessa shows up and
Yeah.
and she's like, "Hey, Wildcat, I guess you decided to come to auditions, and obviously they both kind of want to do it, but are just making so many excuses why they can't."
I know.
And then they, Vanessa at the end of auditions, Miss Darbus says, "We're done." Then she says, "I want to audition," but she needs a partner because this school has partner auditions,
Yeah.
which normally don't happen until callbacks and they place you with the partner. I'm just saying, as someone
Yeah.
who's done a lot of musical theater,
Yeah.
that's not a normal thing.
You don't like, and also I was thinking about that logistics of that a lot because I was like, okay, you sign up with a partner, but there's also solo auditions and they're doing the same songs, which
Yeah.
I am taking to mean they're auditioning for the same part.
So true.
I don't know.
and
So what if they like one person but not the
exactly,
other?
you're basically signing up to be like either you take us both or you get neither, and that's so
Jeez.
dumb.
Yeah. Oh.
And I gotta say, their audition compared to Sharpay and Ryan's audition, it's so bad. Sharpay does a tap dance.
Ill prepared.
Yeah, Sharpay and Ryan have microphones they've made. They've had their personal composer do a whole song with all instruments.
I mean, yeah, like they rearranged the entire song
They've gone
to be
all
less
out.
romantic, so it's not creepy.
Yeah, good. Which I mean, like if I, yeah,
That's a good point, Hattie. That's a really good
they
point.
are brother and sister, and if I were them, I would also rework that song.
Why can't they just say why did they have to be twins? Because they actually are twins. Why couldn't they have just been like two best friends?
Yeah.
Because then all the sexual stuff would have been gone, like all the weird brother and sister.
Well-
Because then they could have starred together. And also,
Yeah.
like, why can't Miss Darbus just say like, "Look, you can't kiss your brother on stage. It's too much."
Didn't at one point the smart girl say they've been like, which I might have missed this line because I was eating, but she said something like they were Romeo and Juliet
Yeah,
at one point.
that's a line.
Yeah.
No, the line was the only reason why Sharpay only keeps Ryan around because she can't be both Romeo and Juliet in the
Oh
scene.
my
Okay.
Oh, so it was a
God.
diss.
But still,
Yeah, it was a diss. But yeah,
that's
yeah.
you should not be doing romantic roles with a sibling.
No, that's a hard no. That's
Sorry,
a really
guys.
hard no.
I mean, she does try. She tries her best to be like, okay, guys, no, it's not weird.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not weird.
I mean, you got to appreciate the Evans, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Evans siblings, just gumption and tenacity.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
that
yeah.
audition was. I mean, they were stunting on everyone. I was
they
like,
were.
at that point,
They were
so-
stunned on
the-
the
if I was in there, if I was Zac Efron, I'd be like, all right, I'm getting out of here because like,
Right?
there's no way
I know.
you would just be auditioning for fun at that point.
Also,
Yeah.
something to keep in mind. Just I know Troy and Gabriella are great, whatever. But think about this. As a director, you're gonna be directing a school musical. And we're, as the audience, made to really root for Troy and Gabriella when neither of them have no stage experience. Gabriella can't sing on stage if she's looking at the audience.
True. She
I mean,
has-
Troy is very charismatic. I will give you that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he can probably dance really well because he, is athletic. But no stage experience. Like, I'm just gonna say it. Like, I'm casting Sharpay and Ryan.
Yeah.
1000% I'm casting
Well,
them.
But
I
I think-
have a question.
Or
about-
Sharpay and another boy that's not
Yeah.
her brother.
Well, I have a question. Like, I haven't done a school musical. I did some summer camp acting, but like, if you auditioned for a role and you don't have the right like tone when you're reading the monologue or whatever, don't they usually just assign you to a different role if they think it's good, but it's not the right tone?
If they like you, they'll
Because-
tell you to just like read it a different way at an audition, or they'll tell you to read a different character. But that doesn't have much to do with it. Like,
Well,
I
no,
mean,
I
it
meant,
does,
like,
but
Like, because I'm like, if like if Ryan and Sharpay's like audition is like it's great, but what if it's not good for the roles? Would they get assigned to someone else?
I think this musical only has 2 people in it
yeah.
because
Oh my god.
That's what the audition sheet said.
Yeah.
You know,
'Cause it's
to sign up for it.
Sharpay and Evans didn't get like secondary roles. They got understudies.
Oh yeah, true.
So I literally think this musical only has 2
well,
people.
there's no way to know because all of their effort isn't even to get the part in the play. It's just to make it 2 callbacks.
You're right, because
Yeah.
I was sitting there watching the movie and I was thinking,
What is
okay,
this
like
play about?
we're an hour and 10 minutes
Yeah.
in. Where is the show?
I know,
There is no show. The climax of the movie is callbacks, which is like not that great of a climax. It's a terrible climax. Also, normally I'm just gonna say it. Auditions are closed. Like people can't just come streaming in.
Yeah, it's not
in
a
theater,
show.
like
Oh,
you
yeah.
have closed auditions. Like you have your producer, your director, and like your pianist there, and that's normally like it. And your choreographer. But like normally like people just like come streaming in for callbacks. That's like they wouldn't be allowed in.
I know.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The only reason why Darbus considered Troy and Gabriella is because when she left, she heard them sing, obviously, and then was like, wow, the basketball player can sing. I think that was her first thought. And then her second thought was, which they like foreshadowed at the end, wow, look at all the people who will come to the play now.
Yeah.
So that's like it probably had nothing to do with them, more to do with
talent.
like, oh, these guys are like networking.
popular.
It's
yeah.
like getting a celebrity.
Yeah, or like, getting a really nice internship
Yeah. I want to know why Troy gets everything he wants.
because he's rich.
Because I'm like, this kid is a star basketball player, and he's top of his game in his one thing. Like
Yeah.
everybody has one thing.
Oh,
Sharpay and
you're
Ryan's one
right.
thing is musicals. And he becomes
and he
top of
still
that
beat
now.
them.
It's like,
Ooh.
what the heck?
right.
Why is he
That's
this
so
golden
true.
boy? Like, he's not that great. He's not that great at singing. I mean, no offense, Zac Efron, but you didn't even sing in the movie. It was a different guy.
That's so true.
I know.
Yeah.
And it's also it is like this movie is one of those movies that you can turn it from a different perspective, and it's so sad.
It's a sad movie.
Because for Sharpay and Ryan, this is a thing. This is their thing. This is what they love doing. And out of nowhere, these 2 people show up, and yeah, maybe they don't handle it the best, but nobody in this school handles anything well.
I know. If someone tried to take Troy's basketball away from him, he would throw a fit.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
I
Did
wanna
we
see
not
that.
first see Chad almost throw a fit when Darbus said, "Get she said something dumb, but she was basically like, take your basketball out of the
She
room."
said
and
your
you
hockey puck.
Put it under.
She called his basketball a hockey
she's
puck.
like, "This is the theater, not a hockey arena,
you're right.
Mr. Ba ba ba." And he like put it under his desk like he was hoarding it.
Yeah.
He's like, no.
Oh my goodness.
I know. And so, like, I know Sharpay gets a little snooty and rude, but come on. It's her thing. You're trying to take her thing away.
And wouldn't you be snooty and rude if the one thing you loved everyone in the school looked down on for
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
reason?
I know,
It's
because
like
she's
the
a
one
great
thing
singer.
you're good at.
Yeah.
You're only good at one thing.
Yeah.
Everyone hates you already. And then someone who's the coolest guy in the world does it. He's not even that good at it. And they're like, wow, singing's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then you're like, wow,
Yeah.
I've spent.
And then everyone finally goes to theater. Like, everyone finally is like, we'll give this a shot. And you're like, what?
And Sharpay and Ryan are like, oh, let's perform our thing. We can perform our Bop to the Top again.
Dude.
And Jarvis is like, no. And I'm like, that number was amazing.
That number that's my favorite one.
Yeah.
Because Arriba!
I know.
I was like, oh, what are they saying? Let me tap into my knowledge of Spanish.
Also, so
My
sad.
heritage.
The ending where they like Sharpay and Ryan go up to them and then they're like, oh, congratulations. You can tell that she's like dying on the inside.
Yeah.
She's like, congratulations.
But she's being so nice about it. Yeah, well, and this is what's funny to me is that at the end of this movie, she says break a leg. They're like, she's being very sweet. And then at the very end, like the last thing you see, she's eating a cookie and she's like, Zeke is in the gym alone, which is like already a little weird.
He's just picking up balloons real
he's just
sad.
kicking 'em. But it's like, you won. Whatever. So she opens the doors and she's like, these cookies are the best things I've ever had. And she runs at him and like jumps all over him. And he's like, ooh, excited. But then I'm just going to say it. In High School Musical 2, Sharpay's again. And everything is back to like the beginning of 1.
See, like-
except for they bake and cook now. Like, That's it.
Yeah.
True.
So what happened
My-
in
my-
spring semester? What happened?
Like my issue is that when I was watching the last scene where they're all in this together, I'm like, why do Ryan and Sharpay get to be in this musical number? They are not in it together with anyone in this movie except for each other.
Well, they are at the end though, but that's
Yeah.
what's so strange because
That
in all
doesn't
the other
excuse
movies
it.
they're not in it to win it, or
Well,
they're not.
okay,
In it.
Ryan is.
Yeah, okay.
That's true. Ryan is always
expands
great.
his friend group. Sharpay is just a little bit protective.
Yeah, Ryan. Actually, Sharpay gets screwed in the third movie by another.
What?
Haven't you guys seen it?
No.
Wait. Say what you mean.
She gets screwed in a.
Over?
Yes.
Thank
Not
you.
Excuse me. She gets really screwed over by a girl who's just like her, and then she realizes, oh no, I was in the wrong. Also, she does go to prom with Zeke, so
Oh,
just gonna say it.
interesting.
Great musical number. Ashley, 2 and 3 have way better musical
Oh,
numbers.
I love 2.
Okay.
2 is the top for me.
I haven't
Oh, really?
seen
Yes.
either
Are you
of
kidding
them.
me?
Actually,
Oh,
I think I saw the third one in theaters, but I don't remember.
I also
anything
saw the
from
third
it.
one in theater.
also one callback also to Grease. In 2, at the end, they have these lanterns and they let them go and they just float in the sky. Like in Grease, how they drive the car off into the sky.
I think that's pushing it.
Yeah. As I said, copyright.
I just think it's kind of weird how Troy essentially is supposed to be like the saving grace. Like he's the Jesus of the movie. Because when you really think about it at the end, like not considering High School Musical 2 or 3,
Yes.
just like alone, what's her name? Sharpay and Ryan have to be happy because if it weren't for Troy, then singing wouldn't be cool. So they like have to be happy. It's not like they can be sad because if they're sad, then the next play they audition for, no one's gonna show up. You know.
Yeah.
So like, that's cool, I guess.
But that's really sad in and of itself because they're very talented and
Yeah,
no
they're
one
so
seems to be
talented.
coming to the plays. Like they're really
Yeah.
good. I would go to their play.
Yeah.
I would too. Like that was like that's
Also,
Yeah.
think
better
of the
than my kids
scandal.
in high
Like
school.
a twin brother and sister play Romeo and Juliet. I would go see that
Scandal.
anyway.
Did any of you feel bad for the pianist?
I did.
She was whiny AF. Like I
Okay,
did not feel
I
bad.
felt-
Here's
know how I
my
felt.
defense of the pianist. She is in high school.
Yeah.
She's very young. It's this was implied that she writes musicals.
She
That's cool.
Which is
wrote a
insanely
whole
hard.
musical.
Yeah, and she submits them to Darbus like every year, and Darbus never takes them.
Well, keep
This
in
is
mind,
the first time she takes
They're in
them.
high school and there's 3 other movies. So, I mean, how many years could she
Yo.
have submitted?
That's
That's what I was thinking this whole movie.
There's 2, but they do two shows every year for spring and
So she
winter.
submitted max 3.
yeah. So she's
Well,
So
submitted.
she's doing pretty good.
She's doing fine. But like that's like she finally got it. It's like her baby.
Yeah.
And so like I get where she's coming from, but as like we all know as a writer you have to let things go and you just got to take.
I
you know,
get it.
Director's
But
king,
the
but
person, like, Sharpay and Ryan are not the people who change it. They're not. Like, in real life, I mean. Like, they are in the movie. But, like, an actor can't just be like, I want this in a higher tempo. And they'll
yeah.
do it. Like, it's the director who will say
Well-
that. And also, the composer has a say. I mean, it's
Yeah.
overall director's decision.
yes.
But, I mean, so it's not like the girl can be,
Yeah.
like, scared by them. Like, unless Darbus wants to
Oh,
change it.
I mean, I don't know.
I think she was just scared of them because they were mean.
yeah,
Dude,
she's
they were
very
mean to
timid.
her.
I don't know. Did you see when Troy and Gabriella were practicing during school time? And whenever Ryan or Sharpay noticed, they'd go to investigate the source, like they were gonna try and stop them from practicing
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, "Whoa, what are you gonna do?" Like she went. Gabriella was singing in the bathroom. Sharpay's like, "What's that noise?" Goes in like she's gonna do something to Gabriella if she finds her.
She kicks open a bathroom door. Also, Gabriella is hiding behind a wall on the same side of
Yeah,
the wall as
yeah.
Sharpay, only
Yeah.
hidden from the audience.
Yeah, because that's when Sharpay's leaving. She looks at herself in the mirror, kisses it, leaves. Then the wall that's facing toward her, Gabrielle walks out and goes, "Whoo!" Like, what? Did she have invisibility activated?
Also, if there was a second wall, it'd be the tiniest little crawl space.
Yeah.
I know. Well, this school, because it was filmed at a real school.
Yeah.
it looks so staged everywhere. Like the whole school looks
Yeah.
like they
Does not
just
look real.
production design had a budget like the biggest budget, and they just could build a whole school because that's really what it looks like.
Yeah.
Also, there's a point where Gabriella's singing her solo because Troy said mean things about her.
Oh yeah.
And she's singing, and she walks down the hall, and there's
Completely
this
empty.
poster that goes from the top of the
Yeah.
cafeteria, which is like 60 feet high or more, I mean, probably more, to the bottom, and it's a huge printout. And it's like looks like it's glossy paper.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it's nice of Troy.
Yeah, okay.
Huge, crossing his arms, and then his boys in the back, like doing the basket, like NBA
Yeah,
style,
it
like
looked
NBA
extremely
splurges on this.
professional.
Yeah.
See, I noticed that when I was watching, and I said to Christopher, "Hold on, like, that's insane.
That's
Who,
celebrity status.
Like, you would just have like a stock photo. Why would you make a printout of the actual school team that year? Like, not even that year, like just that season.
Also-
I think Christopher said to me, "Oh no, they do that at my school."
Well, like one thing I will say though is that that just doesn't make sense to me is that either there's some serious nepotism going on in the basketball team, or Troy is just a prodigy and all of his friends are too, because that's the sophomore class.
Yes.
They're all in
Oh
all the
my
rest of the movies,
God, you're
and they're
so
all
right.
starters. Oh please, oh please, and they're national champions. Oh please.
Oh my
That's
God,
so true.
you're
Like,
so right.
They're sophomores, so that'd
No.
be the junior varsity team, right?
Well,
so
no,
they have-
you as a freshman you can make varsity.
Okay, because I was
Depending
gonna
on-
say, whoa, they made this huge printout of the junior varsity team.
Because, like, okay,
Whoa.
Troy's dad is the coach. So
Right,
if Troy's
yep.
dad was like, I only want my son and his friends on the team, and I mean, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But no. No, I'm sorry. That's just insane to think that, like, a bunch of sophomores are all starting, and where are all the juniors and seniors? Where are they?
I want to see the juniors and seniors.
I
at
know.
this
Yeah,
school.
because you're right. Throughout the other movies, like the prominent minor characters come back. So like, where are the seniors?
And also, one thing I will say, too, is that in this universe,
Yes.
if everyone has their thing, aren't there two other classes of basketball players who that's their thing? You know what I'm
What do you
saying?
mean?
Like Troy, his thing is basketball. Where are all the juniors and seniors whose things are also basketball?
Oh no, that's what. Yeah.
Like and for that matter, like any other activity. Also, what about like I know Zeke was like, I like to bake creme brulee, and everyone hated him for that. But where's the culinary team? Where are
Right?
They
They
probably
Where's the home ec class?
the junior and seniors probably are like, oh, sophomores are playing basketball. Can't do that.
yeah, maybe they've just taken it already.
You mean like oh, they're doing it, we can't do it because only some people can do some
Yeah.
things at this school. Wait, but like
I think the seniors things are not showing up to school.
Yeah.
They're not there.
with home ec, there's probably the kids who only do cooking and the
Yeah.
kids who only do sewing.
There's probably
Sorry.
a lot of clubs that we don't know about that just don't go to lunch in the cafeteria.
Yeah, they just eat other places. Like, where's the Spanish club?
Yeah, where are the kids who only do Spanish?
Yeah, where are those kids? Probably
not-
studying abroad. They're
not-
studying abroad.
Yeah, not like native Spanish speakers.
Yeah.
Just kids who
No.
only do Spanish.
They have no hobbies. They
Just
only
Spanish.
speak.
They just love the language.
Yeah.
And speaking of kids with no hobbies, let's move on to when Gabriella and Troy's friends decided to be very mean to them
Yeah.
for what seemed like no reason, because I believe in the same day, was it the same day they just were like,
Yeah,
oh,
it
that
was,
was
like,
wrong.
at
And then they
lunch.
tried to change it the same day.
Yeah, it was at lunch that day. So basically, what happens is Corbin Blue, who plays Troy's friend,
Yes.
and
Chad.
Taylor Dessy, who plays the girl,
Gabriella's
Gabriella's friend.
Don't know the name
I
of.
don't know why I know their real names and not their fake
Yeah.
names, but whatever. They both team up, and Sharpay sees and is like, something is happening because a basketball player and a nerdy girl are talking. So Sharpay thinks that they're trying to get Troy and Gabriella a callback, but it turns out they're trying to not let them get the callback. So they team up, and the basketball players all get in the locker room, and all the boys are roughhousing and being locker roomy, and they're like, Troy, tell us that your head's in the game. Come on, give it to us. Tell us that it is. And Troy's like, no, it is. And they're like, no, come on. And then one of the boys close to Troy, like very close to him, opens a laptop and pulls up a webcam because this is early 2000, so they don't have like a webcam in the computer.
Yeah.
They have a little fake one that they like put up on top of it, and it's so obvious that they're filming him, and they have a live stream to to Vanessa or Gabriella and all of the decathlon kids, and he's saying, "I don't care about Gabriella. My head is with you guys, like, you're my bros, whatever. And she starts crying, and then that's when she sings her power ballad.
Yes. You know, that has me thinking. I don't want to derail this too much, but it has me thinking about these kids' schedules where the whole basketball team can meet up in the middle of the day before lunch. Well, maybe it's before school.
They kept saying they have free period, and he kept missing free period workout. So they have just, I guess everyone in the school just has a time of day where they don't have class and don't have anywhere they have to be, which is very weird.
It's weird.
No, it's
Well,
not. At my high
weird.
school, I had to be accounted for at all times. You were either at lunch or you were in class.
Yeah, it's weird to me because, I mean, there are times when you get free period. Like, I think when I was in middle school, we had study hall. But the thing is, I don't think it's at the same time for the entire school. I think, like, people, like, are assigned different schedules and get their study hall based on that.
I think at this school it was all the same time because they kept doing stuff.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm
altogether
saying.
during
Like,
free
it's
period.
weird that the entire school has
it
one
is.
period free.
Because it's like, just make your day one period shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Anyways, back to them not breaking them up, but just trying to break up their partnership.
I didn't think their plan. I don't know how it worked at all
I don't know
because
either.
Zach even said, or Troy
Yeah.
even said at the end, he's like, "Is that what you guys want to hear?"
Yeah.
He even said that. I would have if I were. I mean,
If I was Vanessa.
if I was Vanessa, I'd be like, "Oh." So he's clearly being like persuaded to say these words.
Yeah.
And also the PowerPoint that Vanessa was showed to, I was like, that is so mean. Like, that is when you drop a friend immediately.
Yeah.
Who makes a PowerPoint comparing the person you're singing with, and clearly she has feelings for him,
Yeah.
to an ape? Like, that is like the rudest thing I've ever
I
seen.
know.
Very mean. And they don't even, they're like, she immediately starts crying, but it's not until she doesn't sit with them at lunch. They're like, oh my God, she's upset. Like, she
Yeah.
immediately starts just crying
Crying.
and trying to hold it in. And she's like, you want to go get lunch? And
Yeah.
Vanessa's like, no. And she's like, okay. And like walks away. And then she sees her in the cafeteria. And she's like, hey, come sit with us. And she doesn't sit with them. She's like, oh my
And then
God.
the same thing happens with Troy.
Yeah.
And then Taylor Dessy and Corbin Blue look at each other and they're like, what have we done?
Yeah.
Our friends won't sit with us at lunch. And then Vanessa sings her song. Troy is sad too.
Troy's dad notices. He's like,
yeah.
wait a minute.
Something's wrong.
If I don't let him sing, he plays badly at basketball.
Yeah, which also made me mad because I'm like, okay, your plan, these two people clearly have feelings for each other.
Yeah.
And your plan is to make them be so upset at one another because that's a good way to clear up somebody's mind, is to
Right.
mysteriously have the person they like hate them.
It's like
Yeah.
if you thought Troy Bolton was dramatic
Yeah.
before, just look at him now. Break his heart. Because I'm just saying, he was already a pretty dramatic guy
Very
at the
dramatic.
beginning of the movie even, and towards up until then. He was like a dramatic guy. Now his heart's broken and his best friends did it to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
And then
Oh,
comes part 2 of the Chad and other girl plan.
Mm-hmm.
They decide, oh, you know what? Let's make them get to the audition in time.
Oh my goodness.
Or the callbacks in
That-
time.
Yeah.
Well, before we talk about that, can we talk about Troy just, leaping up onto Gabriella's balcony?
Oh, yeah.
Wait, before we get too far, can we talk about the song Status Quo that happens?
Sure.
Love that song.
Oh,
Because-
yeah.
Stick to
That's
the status
really
quo.
where that's really where you see how deep
this goes.
this
Yeah.
like
This rabbit hole
town
goes.
And I just feel so bad for Sharpay because she's sitting up there and she's seeing the whole school and they're saying it's after they've broken the status quo, right?
Yeah.
After everyone said that they have like been secretly breaking the status quo.
Yeah.
And she's up there just so confused and
Yeah.
she's like, she
Her
literally
world
says,
is
I
falling
do
apart.
not
Her
understand.
world is falling apart around
Yes.
her.
And she's like, I'm just trying to be what everyone else is making me be.
Yeah.
The school is like making her be like
Yeah.
this. And she's like, I'm just trying to be like this, but no, everyone hates me for it.
Yeah.
and it's just so weird the things that they find unacceptable. Like, and the one that always sticks out to me is like, because some of them did like, I mean, I wouldn't say like if I met them and they told me that, I'd be like, oh, you're a weirdo, get away from me. But like some of them were like pretty like eccentric.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I didn't get how you could get mad about was the fact that Zeke baked creme brulee.
Right?
He makes food. Everybody eats. Right? So how is the fact that he's making food? Oh, you make food? What would they say? Keep your voice down low.
Yeah.
What is it, or is that what they say?
Yeah,
Yeah, like
Not another peep.
not another peep. Oh, okay. I guess I can't cook anymore.
Also, that song, they start off, they're like, I have a secret. And they're like, come on, buddy, open up.
Yeah.
Dig down deep inside. Tell us what's wrong. And he's like, I bake. They're like, oh my God, shut up.
Shut up. Get out of here.
Yeah, that's,
Don't tell anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're right at the beginning of the song. They're like, tell us all your secrets. We want to know about you.
Yeah.
He says one little thing. That's not bad.
It's not
Everyone
even
might trust.
weird.
It's not even weird.
But I will say, his goal in life to bake the perfect creme brulee
That's
is not aiming high enough.
If someone
that's
told me
so
that in real
easy
life,
to achieve.
I would die. I would think that was the
Buy
funniest
a
thing ever.
blowtorch. That's the one thing.
I know.
Oh
Well,
my
and then okay, so then we have the girl who's nerdy, and what she comes out to have been like secretly doing is hip hop dancing,
Yeah.
Yes.
which like also isn't weird. Like hip hop is very mainstream, I would think, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
also it's said earlier in the movie by
Yes.
Corbin Bleu,
Yes.
that music. The reason why singing is so bad is not because it's singing; it's because it's not R&B/hip hop.
Yeah.
But now
Or
she
rock
says
and
she
roll.
does, or rock and roll. But now she says she does hip hop, and he's like, no.
Well,
Because
you
I
know,
think
Another
it's
peep.
dancing as well.
It's
well,
true.
It's not like she's like,
She
I
pops
write rap
locks
songs.
and
Dances and
Drops it,
breaks.
drops
I mean,
yeah.
but the thing too is that their issue isn't that they're doing these things; it's that they're doing these things, but they already have a thing that they're supposed to
Yeah.
be doing. You're a nerd. You can't also be a hip hop dancer. My brain is too small to comprehend that.
Also, the skater kid
Yeah.
who plays the cello, and they're
Yeah.
like,
what's a cello?
yeah, a saw that thing. Like that's one thing too that I don't get. If people would know if you played in an orchestra.
Yeah.
So like how is
Had it with him.
the fact that he was in
You're
the
right.
skateboarding clique, but also in an orchestra, but no one questioned that until he said it out loud.
Also, like, that's a cool skill. Like, I want to play the cello so
Yeah,
bad.
That's a good instrument, but like also he plays it later in that song, which means this kid probably has band practice at school.
Every day.
And he lugs around a giant instrument, and none of his friends have been like, hey buddy, what is that?
You know, that's kind of weird because, I mean, I was in band for a year. You don't bring your instrument home. Like, if it's that big, I don't. Well, maybe you do. But, like, that's insane to bring that home and to school every day.
Right? Carrying that on the bus?
Yeah.
And if he carried it on the bus, someone would be like, "Wait a minute, you skateboard?"
Yeah.
Like,
What are
they'd
you
be like,
doing?
"What is that? Is that a
Is that a
skateboard?"
skateboard?
Is that your friend in the bag?
He's
I
like,
don't
it's just a
understand.
giant skateboard.
That would have to be the only excuse. To be like, it's a
Yeah.
giant skateboard. Well, he's in the skateboard clique, so it has to be a skateboard because he wouldn't do anything else.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So after this song,
What were we-
Yeah, I think
Where
we
were
were
we?
at the plan to try and
Yeah.
get them to
Yes,
call
get
back,
back together.
Yeah.
Which
which
involves hacking the school network
um
on a
also
laptop.
creating a dangerous chemical that no one knows what it is. It could have killed everybody there because no one knows what the vapor
They
was.
couldn't just think.
Play around. Okay, also they were in a science competition
Yeah.
with chemicals, and they did something without anyone seeing, and then they're like, "Oh my god, gas! Oh my god, everybody out!"
Also,
Oh
I'm
my
like, couldn't
God.
they have just pulled the fire alarm at the game?
No,
Right?
They've just pulled the fire alarm for everything.
Yeah.
Because they're all in the school.
So unnecessary. Why
One
do you
thing-
need to hack
Or
the s-
When you
Okay,
and
first of
when
all-
they hacked, it
okay.
was like send the virus was on the button. Like that was the button.
yeah, send virus.
Yeah, send virus or no, send code. It was something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it shows we see visually shots of like a computer room, like this school has like a huge computer room,
Yeah.
and there's like wires. We're seeing wires. We're seeing, and then we see like a router.
Yeah, it's like an internet
But, like-
router, and they turn it on. It's like boop boop boop.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though, is that they're not actually hacking like the computers. They're hacking like the
scoreboard.
scoreboard. First of all, tell me how that's possible. That you
Yeah,
can hack
the scoreboard is not on Wi-Fi. It's
Also-
wired.
Yeah, newsflash, there's someone up in the little box that controls it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
a game can run without a scoreboard, ladies
Yeah,
and gentlemen.
it's
Yeah.
called pen and paper.
Okay,
As a
stopwatch.
part of it.
Also,
Do they evacuate because it starts smoking? Is that
No,
what happens?
he just says for safety regulations.
No, they
everybody
say
Oh,
out.
technical
gotcha.
difficulties.
No,
Yeah.
but then the principal
He's
stands
like,
up.
well, we have to leave
Yeah.
because we don't know what's going on. So
Oh my
just in
gosh.
case the thing falls from the sky.
because yeah.
and just a quick thing, like this is a national championship thing,
Yeah.
and
National
like,
Is it
championship?
national?
No, no, no.
Because
Or-
at
I
some
don't think
point
so.
They
Okay.
say city.
Oh,
They
okay.
say city.
but it's like a
But
pretty
the-
big game.
They're
It's
playing.
their biggest game of the season.
They're
we'll
playing
say that.
the city championship at their home, like thing.
Yeah.
Wouldn't they play it like in a city thing?
Well, no,
I
they
don't
are in the city. Like that would happen. Like they're playing someone else in their city. Basically.
I feel like it's a pretty
no, but
small
like, is it
champion.
at their school?
yeah, it's at
Yeah.
their school.
So, do city games usually happen at one person's high school?
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you're doing it within the city, because it's not like a big
Oh, true. It's not
traveling
states.
thing.
It's not
Yeah,
states.
it's not
But-
states.
Yeah, you're right.
Let's say that the alternate way of keeping score, pen and paper, because
Yes.
it didn't look like anybody there had pen and paper. They were all too in the game.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Well, they're all jocks, so they don't carry.
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
like that.
They
They
can't.
only
They don't- they're not good at math.
strictly, much
Right.
like Chad, only carry around a basketball and no school supplies.
Yeah.
They have to have a math person come to do.
yeah,
the
and clearly
scoring.
the people in the crowd are only good at being in the crowd, I
they're
guess.
only
Yeah.
spectators.
But like, it looked like everybody was really into the game.
Yeah.
This is like a very important game. If the board got hacked, wouldn't that like technically disqualify the game? And they'll be like,
Yeah.
"Hey, let's redo this game."
They
yeah,
end up
they would have to
winning
like
anyway,
forfeit
right?
or something.
Yeah, but then they just got back and like, "Oh, scoreboard works. Let's go
Yeah.
back into the game."
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's true.
And I'm like,
I thought it was a different day.
well, because
Mm-hmm.
well, it's
because
like
Vanessa was in a different outfit.
oh, I don't remember.
They all were, but I thought they changed.
yeah, they
for,
changed like to
spirit.
go on the in the callbacks, and then they were like, "Oh, let's get back now. We finished singing."
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I
I, thought
think
it
so.
was like a
Which
because
is-
it was the big game, so everybody put on their Wildcats gear.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
Also,
so crazy.
One thing too is that during this whole montage of them, you know, with the chemicals and the scoreboard sending the virus, we're cutting back to Sharpay and Ryan singing "Bob to the Top" in full
Yeah.
costume. They have full props. They have full choreography. They're speaking in 2 languages. It's a
Yeah.
great show.
Ah.
And then all the people rush in, and Sharpay's like, "Oh, we would love to do our performance again." And Miss Darbus is like, "No." She basically just says no, even though their performance was amazing.
Way
it
better
was spot on.
than
They
Troy's.
Had, oh my gosh, it was so great. It was
was
so
so
high
good.
energy, so much dancing. I'm sorry, Troy and Gabriella's, they just did like an airplane arms, and that's all the choreo they had. I
Yeah.
really feel so bad for Sharpay and Ryan.
I
They're
feel
so
like
good.
That's not like they had that. They came up with that choreography. They
Oh,
did
yeah.
that.
They are so talented.
So true because they didn't. You know, Troy and Gabriella had been practicing the soaring flying song. Meanwhile, Ryan and Sharpay, I feel like just freaking came up with this song
Yeah.
all by themselves.
Yeah.
That's how
It's like this-
talented they are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the soaring flying is from the second act of the musical. She
Yeah.
says that. And so she's like, help them out with it. And then Sharpay and Ryan come back with an original composition, original choreography. They should write a musical.
They should write a musical.
Yeah.
The fact that
Then they won't have to play love.
like that song "Bop to the Top" is probably like 3 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're telling me they finished a decathlon,
Yeah.
created chemical poison, hacked the mainframe, and was able to finish like the first half of a basketball game in 3 minutes?
Also, even Chris, even just getting all the people to the
And from-
auditorium
Yeah.
or whatever, that would take more than 3 minutes.
Yeah,
It just
I'm like,
would.
I'm like, that is like, there's a point where movie magic cannot explain that. That is like real
Suspension of
magic.
disbelief.
I know.
That is real magic.
I know.
Yeah, then the decathlon consisted of one question,
Yeah.
which was writing out like a chemical reaction, and the only person that did anything was Gabriella. They all just stood there.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Troy and Gabriella make it to callbacks. They almost weren't allowed to until Darbus saw the mass amounts of people that would line up for her show, and then she let them perform. They sang with the pianist girl who
Kelsey.
Kelsey, who can magically play the drums on her keyboard.
It's I'm pretty sure it's a piano. Like it's a real piano.
Yeah.
Right? It's not
Yeah,
a
no,
keyboard.
it's
Yeah.
like a upright.
It's like a grand piano.
Yeah.
And then they save the day. They win. they got the parts because
Yeah. Does Darbus tell them that they get the
No,
part?
they never get the parts. Everyone just assumes that they got it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So now it's like, okay, cool, you guys did the audition. Now you have to contribute all your time to this freaking musical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to put
Dude,
in,
that takes a lot of rehearsal.
yeah. Good thing the
Yeah.
game and the decathlon have already passed.
Yeah.
Freaking Gabriella goes to school 2 weeks in. Her one thing she was involved in ends.
That's so
You're
true.
right. You're right. 2 weeks
And this
in.
is
Okay.
also right after New Year's, so the semester's nowhere near.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's the
over.
first week of class they even say it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
first 2 weeks of class. Okay, decathlon over, city championship over. Oh, but dude, they won the city championship. So next
They did.
is county.
No,
I think that's
it's
it. I think that's the height
county,
of it.
city, states, national.
They were not, when they won, they
Regional,
were not
national.
like, now we get to go on to regionals or
Yeah.
something.
They're like, we won!
They were just like, we did it! We finally did it!
We're better than everyone else in New Mexico.
Yeah.
Utah?
No, it's Albuquerque.
Albuquerque.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Dude.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the end of, I guess, a musical. Not, I don't know. I don't watch a lot of musicals,
now
but
it's
in the
rock.
traditional sense, is this technically a musical? Because there were only
Yeah.
2 songs that
No, there
were
weren't.
like out of body, or well, 3 songs that were like out of body. Like
Well,
they're not
It's
singing.
in a musical.
It's-
Yeah,
It's a musical.
It's a musical.
okay.
It's High School Musical. It's in the name.
And since this is the second musical we are reviewing, let's do what we did for Rent, and let's
Okay.
go around and say who we think the most redeemable character is and the most not
I think we've
redeemable.
Yeah.
said it.
Sharpay
Sharpay is
and
the most
Ryan.
redeemable. The most irredeemable is probably, I would say, Gabrielle's smart friend.
Yeah.
She really doesn't
Oh, yeah,
She's terrible.
ask for forgiveness very well.
She doesn't, because you know what? Corbin Blue, he does.
Mhm.
Him and Troy are like good at the end,
Mhm.
but Gabriella's friend is terrible at the end. She's wearing a gross tie. I don't like
She
her.
never asked for.
Also, she's just annoying in all of the High School Musical movies.
Yeah.
And she looks the oldest out of all of them, for sure. She looks like she's 27 in this movie. I mean, she doesn't look old, but she just doesn't look young.
She doesn't
Yeah.
look high school.
But she
baby
stays.
age.
Everyone else like looks different in all the movies. She looks the same.
Yeah, which is
The
how you could tell a
same.
grown person.
Yeah, you can tell. Oh my, yeah. So my redeemable character is Sharpay, because Ryan like sort of gets it. Like he's sort of understanding what's happening. She is lost. She does not know, and she's so good. So yeah, Sharpay.
Yeah. I don't know. I like Ryan as the most redeemable. The most irredeemable? I don't know. Probably, in my opinion, one of the teachers.
Who?
Either the coach or
The coach?
I mean, maybe not. I don't know. I didn't like him that much, to be honest.
Okay.
He doesn't understand how detention works. He thinks he can like go
That's
in
the
there.
only reason.
He thinks he can go in there and be like, but I need them.
Bro, I'm just saying, school athletics.
Yeah.
It shows its
High
true
school-
colors.
Yeah, no, I know. I don't know. Maybe I really don't know. I didn't.
All right.
care
So
that
Hattie
much.
is undecided.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say redeemable. Obviously, Sharpay.
Yeah.
She, I mean, bless her soul. And like the person I really did not like the most was either Gabrielle's friend Chad,
Oh,
Because
that's Corbin Blue.
Corbin Blue,
Yeah.
because
No, Chad is his name in the movie.
yeah, because he's like, I mean, it was his idea, I think, for the whole. Oh, let's make our best friends mad at each
Yeah.
other.
No,
Yeah.
those two definitely.
Like he's, and he also wears like 5 watches on one arm,
Yeah, he
which
does.
is just annoying.
I think
So
that was
him,
just for
I
that
hate
one
him.
scene, but he really went all out for the Charlie's Angels bit.
Jesus.
I will say this movie, while it's like old and it's a kids movie, it had some funny lines. Like
Oh.
I laughed out loud like a few times.
I think there's a lot of very good lines in it. Like the first one that really hits
Yeah.
is I gotta go say bye to my mom, and then Troy goes, "Oh, me too." Well, not your mom, my,
My
mom.
mom.
Oh yeah.
Just-
Yeah, it's like got some
Great.
great little one-liners.
Yeah.
Like I loved the opening scene of Troy and his dad playing basketball, and the mom walks in and just like, "Are you guys ever gonna?" Or we
Oh
we
my
fly all the
goodness.
way out here, and you're playing basketball, and the dad and Troy are both like, yeah. And it's just, I don't know, that whole exchange is just so funny to me because the mom is like wearing a shawl and like dressed up.
She's like ready to go.
And she goes, there's a kids party downstairs. And he goes, a kids party? And she
Yeah.
goes, oh, excuse me, young adult.
That's funny to me because she went through the whole process of getting ready, and then only then is she like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
they're not getting
Where
ready.
are they?
They're in the gym. Like that requires, now they gotta go upstairs, shower.
All right, so to end this episode off, you know, we went through it, baby. We did it. Let's go on with the scale. This is I believe a 4 rating scale.
Yes.
It's not that bad. It's pretty bad. You know, it's really bad, or it's just plain bad.
Yeah.
Now, let's start with Ashley.
I would say it's not that bad. I enjoyed it, and you could tell that there was people genuinely tried with this movie, and it showed, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, I would say it's not that bad because once you're in the world, everything makes sense. Like when you realize that every person has one thing, it's a great movie. Like you get it. Like all of their motivations are so like justifiable. And just like the way what they say, I don't know. It holds up. It's a great movie. I'm like, I want to go home and watch 2 and 3.
I want to watch 2.
2's on Netflix. I saw. I'd say it's not that bad. I don't know what I was expecting, but it was not that bad.
We've all 3 just rated it the highest rating we
The
have.
highest.
Yes.
Chris,
Pretty.
what about you?
Hey, I'm gonna make it unanimous. It's not that bad. First
Whoa.
movie.
First movie that's not that bad, Hall of
Yay.
Fame.
Yeah. The thing I can tell you what I was expecting going into it. I was gonna hate it because, I mean,
It's old.
well, it's also a musical.
Yeah, Chris, you hated Rent.
I hated
So
Rent.
what made it different than Rent? Like, why'd you like it so much?
Well, as I was saying, you know, pre-podcast recording, you know how we do in the studio. I was letting Miss Arlo know that you know, the thing about the songs in this movie, and I don't know, I don't want the musical community getting mad at me, but the music in this sounded like music. I mean, that sounds kind of mean now that
It's
I'm saying it out loud, but
recorded, right?
yeah, it sounded like something I would hear if somebody showed me like a song.
Yeah.
It didn't sound like a musical. Like it didn't sound like, oh, I need to watch the play to understand what's going on. They just sounded like standalone songs.
yeah.
So that's why it didn't bother me as much when they were singing, because I was like, oh, yeah, this is a good song. I wouldn't go like, that song didn't make any sense in the realm of the story. And yeah, it's ridiculous enough to where it's just funny. It's, there's nothing so bad that I'm like, wow, I gotta turn this off.
Also, I will say there are a lot of callbacks in like the second and third movies, which I know that sounds like, well, yeah, of course there would be. But I was watching this movie and I was thinking like, their storylines through the first through the third are like great.
All right. Well, there you have it here, folks. It's not that bad. Signing off.